Hello, I'm Juan Jaramillo, speaking to you from my corner of the earth in the northwest of Tasmania. These days I'm semi-retired from directing TV commercials. But instead of filing my dreams away in the attic, I've decided it's time to dust them off and finally tell the stories that have been haunting me for over half a century. It all started when I was 12 years old, a kid obsessed with the cover of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's album TARKUS, not just listening to the music, but really decoding the artwork. A biomechanical armadillo tank squaring off against a lion with a scorpion's tail. It was surreal, mythic, terrifying and mesmerizing all at once. But even then I felt something was missing. There was drama and conflict, but no human story. So I invented one. In my version, the mechanical beasts became monster four-wheel drives. So obviously petrol was the most precious currency. The armadillo tank was driven by an old bully. And the lion was built by a young rebel. A whole 7 years before Mad Max ever hit the screen, I was sketching my own post-apocalyptic action dystopian adventure thriller. It became a 20-page hand-drawn comic book, and it literally got me into film school. At the time, tertiary education in Australia was free, so competition was insane. 600 applicants, 16 spots, and somehow my little TARKUS comic convinced the panel I had what it took to make the cut. Then real life happened. I had to earn a living, so I spent the next 40 years directing TV commercials instead of chasing the dream of being a movie director. But TARKUS never left me. This story, based on just a dozen illustrations on an album cover, stayed lodged in the edges of my memory, waiting for something special to bring it back to life. Fast forward to 2 years ago, AI generative text to image technology arrives, and suddenly I've got the tools to resurrect that old comic, so I dove in. I signed up to Bing's image creator and set to work fully realizing a brand new rendition of my version of TARKUS. I wrote detailed text prompts that included everything: composition, lighting, costume, camera angles, even emotional tone, then edited applying gradual scaling, rotation, shifting speeds to simulate camera moves, and layered them to create parallax animation, carefully aligning every scene to the emotional rhythm of the original music. The result was a short graphic novel style video that inspired me to create a whole series, giving the same treatment to other concept albums that I've always considered to go beyond the music. Classics that are immersive adventures and cinematic epics in disguise. Quietly over the next 12 months, TARKUS racked up over 20,000 views on YouTube. Then came a big break. The 2025 Chroma Awards. They had an action/adventure category and were offering extended free trials of the latest motion generative platforms. I jumped in at once, redeemed every trial I could, and rebuilt TARKUS as a full motion picture short. This time I replaced the comic book captions with a voiceover narrated by the protagonist, Alex. I gave him an intriguing voice, a kind of new language developed by survivors after a global collapse. It emphasizes character over exposition and draws the viewer into the life of a generation of future rebels who are just children today. Hopefully, as you decode his language, you become complicit in his fight. Sure, AI lowers the barrier to ambitious visuals, but it's still an expensive hobby, and it can be a stubborn beast that no matter how you ask, refuses to give you an extreme close-up or a shot of a child in distress. The free trials were very generous, but ultimately limited. Iterations eat credits fast, and something as simple as continuity becomes your nemesis, even if you manage some consistency with the characters. Hair length or wardrobe can trip you up. What starts as efficient prototyping quickly becomes resource intensive with serious constraints. After only 2 or 3 high quality iterations, asset utilization skyrocketed, forcing major compromises that became glaring on repeat viewings. Once the free trials ran out, I had to rely on practical old school editorial fixes like motion tracking a beard onto the villain's death scene. The project was great fun, but demanded all my filmmakers' discipline to manage the budget and deliver a seamless cinematic experience. And now, here's the pitch. This short isn't just a competition entry, it's a proof of concept. I'd firmly believe TARKUS could evolve into a full-scale feature film or television series. A blockbuster-level production that honours Emerson, Lake and Palmer while introducing their legacy to new generations. It's music, myth and imagination fused into cinema. And I'm calling on passionate fans, visionary sponsors and creative collaborators to help make it happen. TARKUS isn't just a prog classic album. It's a beast that's been marching through my imagination for 50 years. And now it's ready to thunder across the screen. Thank you for watching.